Complain about you, I'm not going to give you any attention, and you have no room to flourish on this immune system. You're just not going to do your work here. But there's a lady in Chicago who's waiting for you. Now, you laugh and you think that that's silly, but I'm telling you that when you keep your attention on what you don't want is what will keep manifesting into your life. Addictions have been described as never getting enough of what you don't want or what you despise. So we keep our attention on what we don't want, and what we don't want is what we keep seeking after, and then we despise it. When we put our attention on what we do want, when we shift to a place called unconditional love, and begin to view it as something that I don't have to be dependent upon, you can shift right out of it. The currency for attracting what we want into our lives is our thoughts. As you think, so shall you be. Begin to place them on what it is that you want, and you'll start seeing it shift over and over again. And people who are terrific at getting what they want, you start getting inside of their head and say, what do you think like? How are you organized in here? And you know what they always say? I never, ever allow my thoughts on anything that I don't want. And no matter who out there is saying, yes, but you can't do this, yes, but you can't do that, I never allow that kind of energy. I shift away from that energy instantly. That's what separates great masters from ordinary human awareness. I have been talking during this program about a consciousness, an awareness, a level of functioning or living or thinking which involves something that I call spirituality. It isn't restricted in any religious way. It is a divine intelligence, an organizing intelligence that is everywhere at once. Some people call it God. Some people call it soul. Some call it spirit. Back in the times of slavery, there was a young man. His name was John Newton. He was 23 years old. And he had what is called in Japanese, it's called, excuse my Japanese, but it's called satori. I love to say that. Satori, S-A-T-O-R-I. And it means instant awakening. The idea that you can create something in your life now. In Zen, they have a proverb that says, when the student is ready, the teachers will appear. So it's just being ready. And so you don't have to go through this long, involved process to get to enlightenment where you get it 5 minutes before you die. Instead, you can have it when you are ready. The Native Americans, they have a word called natohi in the Aleut Indians. Natohi. And it means great seeing. Like I don't see, and boom, there it is. I see. And it's like in a dream when you just have this awakening, this light goes off and you just know. It's intuition, if you will. Intuition has been described as, if prayer is you talking to God, then intuition is God talking to you. It's like hearing that voice, and you know it. And John Newton, this 23-year-old sea captain, had a ship full of human cargo that he was bringing from the west coast of Africa to the New World as slaves. And he had this satori, this awakening. And in this moment of awakening, he realized that what he was doing was horrible and defenseless in terms of his own inner sense of morality. And he wrote down on the envelope the words to a song he called it Grace. I once was lost, and now I'm found. And it was grace that taught my heart to feel. It was grace that brought me home. He shifted away from his material world and his being a warrior to being a spiritual being in an instant, which is available to every single one of us. And he wrote these enduring lines. And I have asked my beautiful 16-year-old daughter, one of 6 beautiful daughters that I have. Her name is Sky, and she's just 16 years of age. And she really, in my heart, I've often said to my wife that Sky is just about one of the nicest human beings I've ever known. The fact that she's my daughter, I know may sound like it's prejudiced, But this is a person who comes every night and says, I love you, to not only my wife and to myself, but all of her brothers and sisters, who is kind beyond anything I could ever imagine. And you know, from the time that she was a baby, just this high, she always knew what she wanted. She knew. She didn't believe, she knew. I'm going to be a singer. And I'd say, well, Sky, you know, you've got to study this. She said, no, I'm going to be a singer. And she would never hear of anything to the contrary. And if we were walking through a mall and someone would say, and she'd be 2 years old, up to my knees, and someone would say something to her, she would just sing a song for them. And she'll do it at any time. She had that knowing. She really, 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 with passion, has always known it. And sings all the time and lightens up our house and my life and my wife's life in just the most magnificent of ways. And I asked her if she would please come tonight and sing this song for this program, to close it with as beautiful a rendition of Amazing Grace. And listen to the words. It isn't just my pride in my little girl singing. It's the message of finding yourself and reaching that higher level. So, ladies and gentlemen, my beautiful daughter, Sky Dyer, singing Amazing Grace. Once was lost, and now I'm found. The message of that song is the message of this program. You'll get rid of the snares of your life. You'll let go of all of the things that keep you from reaching that exalted level of spiritual awareness. And you'll find yourself coming home. And when I say coming home, I mean returning to your source. Not the ego, which believes you're separate from it, but your sacred, highest self, which knows. God bless you, and thank you for watching.